Very good. Our next is a panel that may not be ready yet. I don't see them coming up here. Do we have the panel? It's the social media networking as a regional marketing tool. We have Alan Kropf, who nationally distributed magazine, Mutiny magazine. He is the CEO of that magazine. It's a nationally distributed fine beverage magazine, covers beer, wine, spirits, coffee, tea, water, etc. Have you joined the Mutiny? We have Darrell Slocum, who you've seen a number of times, a marketing and communications professional working in the telecommunications industry. Nanette Tanner. Nanette Tanner of Tanner Vineyards and Wines, and a grandmother, began social media exploration a few years ago with frustration and wonder. Reaching out to SM speaker and advocate Alan Kropf, CEO of Mutiny magazine, she now sees SM marketing as the wave of the future. And as the fourth member, we have Ashley Teplin, immersed in the world of art, culture, wine, and cuisine. Ashley Nicole Teplin of ashleyteplin.com utilizes her expertise in public relations, media production, social networking, photography, painting, and even the kitchen to build brands, create networks, and strengthen relationships. Man, that's everything but peace in the world. Come on in.
Leave it to Alan to be the first one to ease back in the easy chair. I just wanted to explain that my involvement with this panel is because of my involvement with the Calaveras Visitors Bureau, where I'm on the board, and we were involved in helping facilitate the visit from the Mutineer crew. So, and Alan, would you like to explain a little bit about what that entailed?
Yes.
Should be on.
Yes. Hi guys, my name's Alan. I am the editor-in-chief and publisher of a print magazine called Mutiny magazine. We are wine, beer, spirits, coffee, tea, soda, water, anything that you can drink, we cover. We have national distribution in major and regional bookstores. We also have a daily blog, and we have a pretty cool social media program. So, I guess about a year and a half ago, I was speaking in Sacramento at a big wine industry convention, and I met Nanette, and she saw me speak, and she hassled me to come up and check out Calaveras, which I'd never been to. We fell in love with it, and we saw it as a great place to almost do an experiment with social media and blending all the different mediums available to see what we could do in terms of taking our expertise, which was in wine marketing and something that's becoming a bigger and bigger industry here in the Sierra foothills, and see what we could do by bringing people together, which is what our panel's about, social media networking as a regional marketing tool, the growing pains and learning how to use social media for networking and marketing as a regional group, how the collective steps of one have become the journey of many. And Calaveras, we're based in Los Angeles, so coming to Calaveras, we were working with a lot of people that weren't as familiar with technology as a whole, and certainly more progressive forms of social media. So it was a really, really cool experience to bring everybody together, because social media at the end of the day, it's just a platform. It takes a couple of minutes to sign up for an account. It doesn't take any money. You need a computer and an internet connection. But what people do have is they have talent, and they have skills, and they have experience. So, Darrell provided great leadership with his work on the Calaveras Visitors Bureau board, And we brought together 12 or 13 different businesses and organizations and companies in Calaveras and worked together to create our own strategic advantage over companies like counties like Sonoma County and Napa County, and we created our own strategic advantages using the power of social media. It's an ongoing kind of experiment and something that we've had some success with, but it's been a really cool journey, and we actually moved our entire team up into Murphy's in Calaveras for 7 months to really integrate ourselves and understand the people and the culture and the challenges and the opportunities, and it's been a really cool opportunity. One thing I wanted to talk about is what are the challenges that people are facing out there? And in March, 577 marketing professionals and executives were interviewed about different aspects of their social media programs and what their challenges are. The study was released in April, and 70% said the biggest challenge was a lack of resources. 57% said poorly defined success metrics and key performance indicators. 44% said lack of knowledge about social media, and 22% said management resistance. It's my belief that overcoming these, which I think are great challenges to focus on, is the key to getting past these basic kinds of things holding us back and tapping into our own talents and skills and experiences that we can bring to the table and create something really, really unique. And when you look at social media as an opportunity at a regional level and bringing those people together, it's social media. That's where you find the strength. And it's always encouraging to see conferences like this as an example of what can be accomplished through social media and bringing people together and starting new conversations. So I would just encourage everybody to look within your own communities and organizations to see how you can use these different platforms to bring together your collective skill sets and create something very unique and special.
I'm having lazy boy envy over here. So I was actually brought on by Mutiny magazine to come in and consult with the various entities, Murphy's and Calaveras County, to look over their online presence, their social networking presence, and without knowing the area very well, just kind of come in. My background is, I'm from Napa. I live in Napa. I've been there for about 7 years now, and I work in the public relations field. So let's preface that a little bit. And so my goal was to come in, look at this region, and see how they're representing themselves, online, and making sure it was consistent with how they talked about their businesses and how much passion they had in person, and making sure that was correctly conveyed online, which in my experience is a really hard thing to do. It's easy to talk with people. It's relatively easy to get up on stage. Excuse me, I'm not used to being on stage in front of people. But it's hard, I find, to correctly and appropriately convey oneself in 140 characters, or in a status update, or in a visual. Not everyone is talented or skilled at taking photographs, and are nervous about putting imagery out there. So just kind of looking at this region in particular, and with my experience in Napa and working with restaurants and wineries and small companies with a big name, and seeing how they do it over there, and just having that sense of community, and making sure that they were individually representing themselves as well as overall, making sure that as a region they had a sense of self, but they also had their unique perspective. One winery was so different and far from another one. You have someone representing their wine with chickens, and then someone else representing their wine with a history and the past of being in Murphy's for a very long time, as Nanette will talk about with their winery. So, it was my goal to kind of come in and we did was it 2 days? 2 days of sitting down. I put together, goals, password sheets, things that people don't think about. You always lose your passwords. Make sure you write those down. and making sure that everyone was kind of, felt comfortable with their presence. So right now I'm actually working on an interesting Twitter happening this week, a tweet up for that matter, called Chardonnay Day. and it will be on Thursday. The gentleman putting this together, Rick Backus, he's very well received in the world of wine twitterers. And so the tweet is on Thursday. And so anyone that is drinking a glass of Chardonnay, making Chardonnay, you know, they can go on and talk about it with the hashtag Chardonnay. And so things like this can really be great for any region, for any small company to pick something and, you know, and create their own tweet up and create their own online event. So that's my suggestion with that. So.
Ashley, before you pass the mic, would you agree that you're coming in and having a perspective as an outsider? Most of us are too close to our businesses, and we assume too much about what consumers and potential consumers know.
Definitely. I mean, hello. No, definitely. I think people get so inundated, you know, even a larger business. I mean, I met with someone, I think he spoke earlier at Oars, and he had a huge business, and small little things saying, even on the online side, that this button didn't click through, and they weren't able to have access, or things weren't linking, or how he presented wasn't necessarily what was being presented online, because they're so close to that project or that business. So I recommend for everyone to reach out to someone that maybe isn't in your field, you know, to have a different sense or a different understanding about what you're selling. It's always good to get that outside perspective.
And by the way, that can be done. One of the speakers earlier, I'm sorry, I don't remember the lady's name from Lake Arrowhead. Is she still here? You talked about having an intern come in. Well, an intern's not going to know anything about our business, and which means that they're going to look at it from a fresh set of eyes, and that can be very beneficial. Nanette.
Darrell, before I speak, I would like you to address what we've done as the Calaveras Wine Grape Alliance, the Visitors Bureau, Murphy's Business Association, sort of the networking that's gone on with our organizations, because I think I've benefited from all three of you, so I want to speak after all of you have spoken.